to talk about the engineering challenge for first grade Earth Science 1ENG. And in Activity 2C, we have an activity where the students can actually look at how they might shade a row of lettuce at noon when the sun's shining very warmly on it. So we're going to take a look at the materials that are here at the table, see what's available, and then I'll show you some ideas that you can work with to help your students get excited about building their sunblock for the lettuce row. All right, so first of all, you're going to want to get your materials together. So you'll notice that I've got the tubing from the unit and the craft sticks. I also have the straws, the plastic straws, the pipe cleaners, and the clay. All right, then for the teacher provides, you're going to want to bring in, of course, scissors, tape, string, and some construction paper. It doesn't really matter what colors. I have black and white here. You're going to want to pull out of the kit the testing site map. Okay? And one of the things I did was I just put in a sheet protector. I put it right in a sheet protector, and that way when the students are working on it, it won't get dirty. You can always wipe it off. Also, I went ahead and put the clamp lamp on the back of a chair so that it's easy to set up. And this clamp lamp obviously serves as the sunlight. And so this is essentially what you have to set up for a station for your students. All right, so let me go ahead and show you my initial prototype that I made. I was thinking about your first grade students and thinking we need something simple. I was thinking the clay, and these are all ideas. This isn't what you have to go with. These are just, you all might come up with even better ideas. So I just decided, all right, this clay would make a great stand. So I just took a lump of clay, kind of split it in half and split it in half again for the 4 pieces. So that's what I started with. Once I have that, then I was thinking I need to just shade the row of lettuce. So I thought, all right, why don't I just take some of the construction paper and cut a piece? So all I did was I took the construction paper, folded it over, and then I cut it. So if you want to have kids do the cutting, that's great. If you don't have time for that, you might be able to cut strips this size for the students. Next up, I thought the craft sticks would be really easy to just poke into here. So what I did was I just made a little cut inside the 4 corners. And then the students can now put the little craft sticks right in there. So these become posts. Finally, you can just kind of poke these right into here. So here's your row of lettuce. Then you might have students work together to place these in here. So I thought for first graders, this might be an easy to manipulate set of materials for them. So that was one idea. So this one is a bit pretty. All I did was I took a pipe cleaner and stuck it right through the tubing here. And I thought that would give it some color, and it's kind of fun, and maybe you could bend it and get it to shape. And I thought, that would also be cool if I could stick it into the clay to anchor it. So then what I did is I took some aluminum foil, which isn't with the materials kit, but imagine you can use the paper or really any kind of materials. So that may be something the kids decide that they want to use a different kind of material. It could be cloth. It could really be anything that you have. So then what I did was I set it up, and then I just bent this and set it over the garden And of course, the students might have to play around with that a little bit. And then if it gets a little bit hard to stick, you might ask your kids to roll their little clay base again to get it to stick a little better. And one of the wonderful things about it is, if you do a project and you're like, oh, that didn't turn out so good, like this one's kind of not so sturdy, instead of saying, oh, that was a fail, encourage your students to say, oh, that seems a little bit, a little bit flexible there, and it's not really holding it up as well. Let's look at other people's, when the students are sharing in the groups, a student might say, oh, I noticed how the construction paper was more sturdy, and so then that student might decide, well, I want to go back and rebuild and use a different material for the cover. So that's the idea there. So the projects are never fails, they're just a stepping stone to the next best idea. Okay, so then after I did that one, I kind of liked my idea of tubing on the sides, so I went with that, but this time I took a straw and I slipped the pipe cleaner right through the straw. I just cut a piece of the straw and then stuck the pipe cleaner right through it, and then taped a strip of construction paper to the sides. So now I can slide this strip of blocking material anywhere I want it. So maybe when the sun is changing positions, I might also move that strip. So I'm not saying, just give these ideas to the students. This is more of a visual for you to see the kinds of possibilities that are available, and you're going to be surprised because your kids are going to come up with some amazing ones. So one of the things I want to talk about is when you start on an engineering project and you're not sure where to go with it, what's helpful as a teacher is you can start looking at the materials first. And then once you see what materials you have, think about what would people do in a real situation. So since this engineering challenge is based on having a garden and keeping that one row of lettuce from burning in the hot, noontime sun, then you might actually Google how people with gardens actually protect their fruits and vegetables from, high heat. And so what I did is I found out that people make different screens, and I noticed, they had screens with posts, and some, you could actually roll them up or down. So then you begin to think, all right, based on doing a little research of what people might do in real life, it gives you the background necessary to go to the next step, which is to be innovative and creative about using the materials you have, and then maybe even finding some materials that you have beyond what's in the kit to give to the students to play with. So I highly recommend that you do a little Googling, get on the internet and try to look at what actual scenarios might look like and what you might use. And who knows, you might even learn a little bit about gardening and decide to set up some sort of shade in your own garden.